Hey guys, we've got some more information on the ZINO Mini Pro drone. You can now pre-order it on the website. Let's go and check out some of the actual spec on the website and see if it's worth buying. So Hubsan have just released 2 teaser trailers on their YouTube channel. I'm just going to break them down today. It's going to give us some more information in regards to price and the spec of this drone, and then we can actually evaluate whether it's actually going to be worth buying or not. But no, you didn't see things on that actual video. There is now an option for a thermal option, which is going to be a thermal camera. Do you need a thermal camera? Well, not really, no, but yes, it's interesting. But we now can see 3 different price options: 64GB option at $459, 128GB at $509, and then a massive $1499 for that thermal camera option. It is a bizarre one because unless you're maybe the emergency services, need a drone that's going to need thermal camera on it, or military, but if you are one of them, you're not going to be using a drone this size. They've got their own drones with much bigger battery capacity, so it's really bizarre that, and I'd be really interested to see the main usage for that thermal camera and the reason why it's so expensive. But from looking at that, we've now got the 2 options which most people are going to be buying. That's the 64GB option and the 128. So it's certainly going to be an interesting drone. The spec on paper, I'm going to have my own thoughts on this soon throughout the video, but it's living up to it. The spec, it doesn't seem to be just all smoke and mirrors. They do seem to be going ahead with this. So they've also released this strange video as well, which has some of the spec in kind of like a moving paper format in the worst quality I've ever seen on YouTube. But we have been able to break this down on their actual website as well, which we'll get into. So on the main website now, when you go onto it, you can actually see that that drone is available now for pre-order. $459 is the base model, the 1 battery, and you're going to get 4 propellers. And then if you want to move up to the other model, it's going to be $50 extra for $128. This seems to be that if you don't need a memory card, then you can just use the internal storage, or you can go really far up to an extra $160 for an extreme bundle with 3 batteries, 8 propellers and a bag. So that appears to be like the Fly More combo. When we look a bit closer at the spec, it's going to be interesting to see if you can still use a memory card. Memory cards now these days are so efficient, they're a good price and actually so reliable. So by using just the drone only, you're going to then be having to trust all the software capabilities in that drone and make sure it's actually filming everything, because you're not going to have a memory card potentially if you're going to use a 128GB model. So let's look at a few of these specs on the website now. So if you click on this now, you'll see highlights, and this brings up some of the details which we were shown on the original promotional video, but it's just now in black and white as well, and we can go into a bit more detail. So it's going to be 249 grams folded, 3 direction obstacle avoidance, so that's good to see. 40 minutes up to, it does say 40 minutes flight time, 10km range. That's going to be FCC mode in perfect conditions, 4K 30 video, and then the camera, you're going to have a 1.3 CMOS sensor with an f1.8. so everything looks decent on paper. It says there 6x hybrid zoom. Hybrid, it seems like that's because it's not going to be an optical zoom, it's digital zoom. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what that quality is going to be like. Is that going to be 6x in 4K or not? We'll wait to find out. The feature everybody's looking forward to is this AI tracking mode. It's got AI tracking and enhanced HDR photos. So very good there. So the flight battery, let's look at that. It's going to come with a LiPo battery as well for the weight. That's good. But it also has a slightly higher capacity at 2400 milliamp battery. That's a slightly bit more than what you get on the Mini 2. So that's probably where we're going to get this flight time of up to 40 minutes. So that potentially is going to be good as well. You're going to have a charging time of 90 minutes. And then you can use this in a variety of temperatures as well. It does say minimum is 0 degrees, so I imagine that's just going to be the same on the Mini 2 as well, around about the same temperatures for flying. And then the gimbal got a 3-axis pitch roll and your gimbal as well, so very similar as well there. So what are you thinking so far? Now we've actually got it official on the website as well, and you can pre-order it. Are you thinking of pre-ordering this? Looks pretty good on paper. Be interesting to see in real life what it's like. Let's delve more into the technical specs now as well. The color is going to be in grey, so 1 colour only. The size, it's very similar, almost identical to the Mini 2, with a takeoff weight of 249 grams, so it's bang on 249, which potentially could be an issue for an ND filter. Everything else is so similar to that Mini 2. Grade 5 wind resistance, which is the same. We've got very similar speeds for the ascending and descending, so the motors look pretty much identical as well. And then the main one, that 40 minutes flight time. So with that slightly increase in battery, potentially we will get more. This is under perfect conditions as well. You're never going to get 40 minutes, just like DJI 31, never going to get that. But if you can get 30 minutes, then that's going to be excellent, isn't it? So it's very interesting to see that we've now got this spec on paper for this drone, and this could be a real decent competitor to that DJI Mini 2. What about the camera? Have you got anything decent with that camera, anything new? So the field of view, again, it's actually the same. The aperture, the 1.13 CMOS sensor, you're not going to tell any difference whatsoever between this and the Mini 2. It's 48 megapixel cameras, but that's going to be all software related. 4K 30 is the max resolution, the same on the Mini 2. 2.7K 60, which is the same, and 1080p is 60 as well. So again, the same there, so nothing different. It does say here though 100 to 200 video bitrate. The Mini 2 has only got 100, but I can't see at all getting 200 video bitrate in 4K. I think that's a marketing term, that's only going to be available in HD. But if that's available in 4K, then brilliant, that's going to be really ace. But I think that's just going to be for 1080p, but it's still going to be great. It's a good advantage, isn't it? And then the remote controller, just looking at that, it's really similar. It's one type USB, so it's like you can still charge it with USB. I haven't seen any spec for if it's going to be USB-C on the drone and how we're going to charge that actual battery. I'm hoping it'd be the same as DJI Mini 2, so you can charge it with a USB bank, a 6km range in CE mode and 10 kilometers FCC, so that's really great to see as well. If you can get that, and excellent. It's going to be dependent on that battery and the country you're in, but what that says is that the signal is going to be really good. We're expecting to see their own version of OcuSync, and the gimbal, we've covered a 3-axis gimbal. So overall, you know, on paper, them specs are really looking promising, aren't they? Would this be enough though for you to go out now and order it? You can pre-order it now direct on the website. You can get the 64 or the 128 gig model. Looking at that spec there, it doesn't see if you can actually add a memory card, which is really strange, but I imagine you can. It's just not really clear. I don't know, if you can't add a memory card, then for me, I'd probably get that 128 gig model, because I do like to film a lot, especially in 4K. But if you could add a memory card, I'd just go for the base 64 gig model. So pre-orders are out now. There's no expected shipping date, but if you're taking pre-orders, you know, I imagine this is going to be released imminently the next month. Are you going to buy it? It's certainly an interesting one, isn't it? Are you going to get this or wait for a new DJI Mini 2, like a 2S or a 3? That's going to be the question which a lot of people are going to be asking themselves about whether to buy this or not. Well, certainly the specs look good. The active track and the additional flight time with the sensors are the biggest selling points of this. Everything else is really similar to the Mini 2. So until I actually test this, I am sitting on the fence about what to do. It's going to be a really hard one, but it certainly does look interesting. As soon as I get any more information, or that it actually is available, I will let all you guys know. But I hope you found that interesting, and let me know, are you thinking of buying this? Have you ordered it already? Please let me know in the comments down below, and have a great weekend. Take care guys, bye bye.